Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today, we're taking a close look at something new in the pilot world.
Yeah, we're focusing on Garmin's latest aviator smartwatch, the D2 Air X15.
Right. It seems designed to hit that sweet spot, balancing the look with the actual cockpit functions.
Exactly. And we've pulled together, well, everything we could find, the official specs from Garmin, their announcements, but also some really good third-party reviews.
Including some deep analysis from places like the 5K runner, right? They tend to really put these things through their paces.
Absolutely. Their insights were pretty helpful. So our goal here is to cut through the noise for you.
We want to boil it down to the key things you, as a potential buyer, really need to weigh up.
We're focusing on four main things. Price, naturally. Then battery life, always crucial. The new smart features they've added.
Which seem quite significant this time around.
They are. And finally, maybe most importantly for pilots, the core aviation tools and what you don't get compared to, say, the higher-end D2 Mach 2.
Okay, let's start with who this watch is actually for. Where does Garmin see the X15 fitting in?
Well, the marketing and the design point towards pilots who want something sleeker. Maybe less overtly pilot watch for everyday wear.
So, lightweight, modern look, that's the idea.
That seems to be it. Something that works well outside the cockpit, too.
And the build reflects it. What are the specifics?
Yeah, it's got that modern circular look, 45mm size, which is pretty standard, wearable, and a really nice, bright 1.4-inch AMOLED screen.
AMOLED is great for visibility. Is it tough enough?
It's got Corning Gorilla Glass 3 and a stainless steel bezel. So, yeah, it should hold up reasonably well for daily use. It definitely presents more like a premium smartwatch first.
Which brings us straight to the cost. What's the damage?
Okay, this is key. The D2 Air X15 has a starting MSRP of $649.99 US.
$650. Okay. And just for context, how does that stack up against the top tier?
That's the whole point, really.
Yeah.
The D2 Mach 2 models, they start way up there at $1,349.99.
Wow. Okay. More than double.
Exactly. So that price gap is huge. It really defines the X15 as the mid-range option. It has to offer good value at that $650 mark.
Which means figuring out what features made the cut and maybe what didn't. What did they manage to pack in?
Well, this is where it gets interesting, especially on the smartwatch side of things. They've added features that really bring it up to speed with modern wearables, moving beyond just being a sports or aviation tool.
Like what specifically? I saw something about a light.
Yes, the built-in LED flashlight. That's a genuinely useful addition.
For brief lights in the dark, I imagine. Or just finding stuff you dropped.
Both, definitely. It has different brightness levels for the white light, but crucially also a red light setting.
Ah, the red light. Essential for keeping your night vision in the cockpit. Does it have that redshift mode for the display too?
It does, yeah. Helps preserve night adaptation all around. That's a smart aviation-focused touch on a general feature.
Okay, good. What else is new on the smart side? The older Air models lacked some things, didn't they?
Big time. They've added a built-in speaker and microphone now.
Finally. So you can actually take calls on it.
Yep, Bluetooth phone calls directly from the watch, assuming your phone is paired and nearby, plus voice assistant support.
Taking calls on your wrist in a noisy cockpit with a headset on? Maybe not the main use case.
Probably not mid-flight, no, but think about being on the ramp, doing your walk around, or waiting for clearance. It adds convenience.
Okay, fair point. Does the mic enable anything else?
It does. On-device voice commands when paired. This is actually pretty neat for pilots.
Like asking for weather.
Exactly. You can just say, show me the METAR for KLX or whatever, and boom, it pops up. Hands-free info.
That could actually save some button pushing. I like that.
And another mic-related feature, geo-referenced voice memos.
Meeting.
You can quickly record a voice note, maybe ATC gives you a reroute, or you spot something during flight and it tags it with your location and time. You review it later in the Garmin Connect app.
Okay, that's quite clever, like a quick digital notepad tied to where you were.
Precisely. And one more cool, smart detail related to display. The watch face can dynamically change color based on the METAR conditions at your selected airport.
Oh, really? So green for VFR, maybe yellow or red if things deteriorate.
Something like that, yeah. Instant visual cue without even touching the watch. It's those kinds of integrations that start to feel really useful in the workflow.
These all sound like solid upgrades. But the elephant in the room for any pilot watch, battery life.
Yeah.
Especially with that bright AMOLED screen, speaker, mic.
Yep. Always the trade-off. Garmin's known for great battery life compared to, say, an Apple Watch, but these features do draw more power.
So what are the numbers for the X15? How long does it actually last?
Okay, in standard smartwatch mode, Garmin claims up to 10 days. If you use the always-on display setting, that drops to about 4 days.
10 days is still pretty good for a modern smartwatch. 4 days always on is.
Yeah.
Okay. What about battery saver?
You can stretch it up to 25 days in battery saver smartwatch mode, but that obviously limits functionality.
The critical one for us, though.
Hmm.
How long does it last when you're actually flying using GPS and maybe the pulse ox?
That's the fly activity mode. The spec is 20 hours with GPS and SPO2 running.
20 hours. How does that feel in context? Is that good, bad, average?
Well, reviewers like the 5K runner pointed out, 20 hours is still way better than something like an Apple Watch Ultra, which might top out around, 40-ish hours in its best possible low-power workout mode, not continuous flight tracking.
So better than mainstream smartwatches, definitely.
Yeah.
Enough for a day of general aviation flying, probably.
For sure. Most GA flights aren't 20 hours continuous, but
Yeah.
this is where the comparison to the Mach 2 really bites.
Ah, right. The more expensive sibling. What does it offer?
It's a whole different level. The Mach 2 offers up to 26 days in smartwatch mode.
Okay, more than double the X15.
And for that fly activity mode, GPS and SPO2, the Mach 2 delivers up to 58 hours.
58 hours. Wow. That's almost 3 times the X15's flight endurance.
Exactly. So if you're doing long-haul flights, multi-day trips, or maybe operations where you can't easily recharge, that difference is massive. The X15's battery is good for its class, but it's clearly a compromise compared to the flagship.
A very clear compromise tied to that lower price point. Okay, let's shift to the core reason someone buys an aviator watch. The flying features. What essentials does the X15 provide?
It covers the fundamentals really well. You get GPS directed navigation, of course. There's an HSI course needle display using Garmin's worldwide aeronautical database.
Standard essential stuff. Weather.
Yep, access to aviation weather METARs and TAFs. Critical for pre-flight and in-flight awareness.
And it still has the health monitoring relevant to flying.
Yes, the in-flight pulse ox sensor for blood oxygen saturation monitoring is included, plus automatic flight logging that syncs up with your Fly Garmin account.
Convenient for keeping records. What about connectivity with panel avionics or other Garmin services?
Good question. It includes Connext Avionics connectivity, which is actually an upgrade over the older X10 model. That lets it wirelessly receive flight plan data from compatible Garmin panels.
Nice integration.
And it also has plane sync compatibility.
Remind me what plane sync does again.
If your aircraft is equipped with the necessary hardware, plane sync lets you check things like fuel level, electrical system status, and database currency remotely through the watch before you even head to the airport.
Ah, checking database status from home, that's actually super useful. Avoids that nasty surprise on the ramp.
It really is. So you can see the X15 packs and all the truly essential tools for basic navigation, weather, logging, and some neat connectivity.
Okay, so it covers the basics comprehensively. Now for the flip side, what's missing? What did they have to leave out to hit that $650 price and maintain the sleeker design?
This is probably the single biggest differentiator, and it came up in all the technical reviews we looked at. The D2 Air X15 fundamentally lacks the sophisticated onboard mapping engine that the Mach 2 has.
No maps. What does that mean in practice when you're looking at the watch?
It means no detailed, color-moving map display. You don't get graphical topography, terrain shading, or those detailed depictions of airspace boundaries overlaid on a map.
So it can tell you your bearing and distance to a waypoint, but it can't show you your position relative to terrain or complex airspace graphically.
Precisely. You get the navigational data, but not the rich, map-based situational picture directly on your wrist.
Why is that map so important for some pilots?
Well, think about flying VFR near complex airspace or in mountainous terrain. Having that visual representation of airspace boundaries, seeing if you're about to clip Class Bravo or seeing upcoming terrain, that's huge for situational awareness. The Mach 2 provides that. The X15 doesn't.
And other map-related omissions. Runway details.
Yeah, the Mach 2 offers enhanced runway diagrams when you zoom in. That's missing on the X15. And the lack of that powerful mapping engine also means some advanced alerting features are absent.
Because they rely on processing map and position data.
Exactly. For instance, there's no onboard density altitude calculator function on the X15. More significantly, you lose what Garmin calls personal minimums tolerance alerts.
Right. What were those again?
They're quite clever, actually. On the Mach 2, you can preset your personal weather minimums, like, say, a maximum crosswind you're comfortable with, or minimum ceiling and visibility.
Your personal gonna-go criteria.
Right. And if the current METAR for your selected airport exceeds those preset limits, the Mach 2 actively flags it with a visual alert. It's like a personalized safety check.
And the X15 can't do that because it lacks the processing power or the framework for those complex user-defined alerts.
That appears to be the case. It can show you the raw METAR data, but it doesn't run those customized comparison algorithms.
Okay, that really clarifies the choice, doesn't it? It puts the decision squarely on the pilot's mission needs.
It absolutely does.
So summarizing, the D2 Air X15 comes in at $649.99. It's a great-looking, modern smartwatch, works well as a daily driver, has these useful new smart features like the flashlight and voice commands.
And it delivers all the essential flight tools, navigation, weather, logging, basic connectivity, covers the core requirements.
Choosing the X15 means you accept the trade-offs, you prioritize the sleek design, the lighter weight, and obviously the much lower price.
And in return, you give up the advanced on-watch mapping, the graphical situational awareness, tools like the density altitude calculator, and those sophisticated customizable weather alerts that the D2 Mach 2 offers.
Which leads us to that final thought for you, the listener, to chew on.
Given that the Mach 2 gives you that vastly superior battery life, nearly triple the flight endurance, plus the full mapping and advanced safety alerts, but costs roughly double.
When does that extra utility, that detailed map and super long battery on your wrist become worth the significant extra cost and perhaps slightly bulkier design?
You really have to ask yourself, what kind of flying do you do? Are you mostly weekend VFR, relying primarily on an iPad or panel for mapping? Or are you flying longer legs, IFR, in complex environments where having that instant graphical awareness and extreme endurance on your wrist could be genuinely critical?
Is core data enough, or do you need the full picture? That seems to be the heart of the decision between these two.
It really is. Food for thought.
Indeed. We hope this breakdown helps you figure out which, if either, might be right for your cockpit. Thanks for diving deep with us today.